Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Guys, Ryan's our guy.
Yes, he is.
He's been on this show as a panelist, and he is unusually talented. So we are rooting for our guy, guys. But at least I am. But we see him posting videos with influencers to his social. He's back training with his dad. He posts videos in his garage and living room. He's giving Rocky from Rocky 3 before the first Clubber fight. I'm not saying Barrios is Clubber Lang, but are we worried? Even if Barrios isn't Clubber Lang, there's the physical preparation which he might be doing. But then the thing that rubs you the wrong way about this is it's like, but is your mind serious enough? But on the other hand, some guys need to be loose like that. Where do you come out on all of that?
I just think I'm going by consistency. So we know what we get when he's acting this way.
He should, strengthen his body and also learn a lot of more techniques because that's what he needs. He has the skill of boxing, but you need to improve it.
Ryan Garcia just made a prediction that's about to blow up in his face. He's telling everyone he'll stop Mario Barrios in round 8. But here's what he doesn't want you to know. His own former trainer is now in Barrios' corner, feeding him every single weakness Garcia has. And after what happened with Devin Haney, where Garcia dominated but couldn't finish the job, this bold prediction might be setting him up for the most embarrassing night of his career.
149 on Saturday. The living room stuff does give me pause.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like when Rocky and he kisses. Can I have a kiss? And Mickey's like, he ain't gonna kiss you. He's gonna kill you, right? Like, come on, man, you can't. Like, it just doesn't. He looks good. He looks like he's in shape. Ryan is like, Gabe, you're a talented fighter, right? But then there's like, Ryan is unusually talented. When you put your eyes on him, do you see unusual talent, speed and power?
Absolutely, but it's just he lacks the discipline.
Right.
And when you're fighting a guy like Barrios who is disciplined, he's a little boring. I mean, Barrios really doesn't, he's not charismatic or nothing like that. He's not like Ryan, but he's disciplined. And he has Goose in his corner for this fight, which is going to add a lot to Barrios because he knows the errors that Ryan makes. He knows Ryan personally. So that's a plus for...
Let's talk about what's really happening here, because this isn't just another boxing match. Manny Pacquiao and Max Kellerman broke down this fight, and they're seeing something that should terrify Garcia's team. They're highlighting Garcia's hand speed and that devastating counter left hook, sure. But they're also pointing out something crucial. Barrios has the size advantage, the reach, and that relentless forward pressure that breaks fighters mentally. Kellerman specifically mentioned how Garcia looks absolutely drained, making 147 pounds, like his body is screaming that he belongs at 154. When you're cutting that much weight, your power diminishes, your chin gets weaker, and your gas tank shrinks. That's not speculation, that's boxing science.
He looks gaunt to me. Like, I hate the day before weigh-in. Let me just tell everyone about this real quick, catch people up in the history of this. They went to day before weigh-ins because fighters were drying out day of weigh-ins, right? You weigh in, you dry out, you weigh in, you make weight, and then you rehydrate, and they thought it was dangerous. So it was well-intentioned to move it a day before so they have time to rehydrate. But all it did was have fighters cut more weight to fight in even smaller divisions for a so-called weight advantage, and then they'd hydrate more. No one's fighting in the right division anymore. Look at Ryan's face there. We know Ryan in personal life. He's a big kid. To me, he should already be at 54.
Yeah, Max, I actually had dinner with a few boxing insiders on Friday in Vegas, and we were all talking about it. Like, Ryan's a guy that can easily fight at middleweight. At 54, he's a big guy. Mario Barrios is another one. He was fighting at 122. Look at the size of Mario.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Joe Goosen, Garcia's former trainer who knows every single habit, every defensive flaw, every mental weakness Garcia has, is now coaching Mario Barrios. Think about that for a second. This isn't just switching teams, this is handing your opponent a detailed blueprint of how to destroy you. Goosen has spent countless hours studying Garcia's tendencies, and now he's whispering all those secrets into Barrios' ear. When Garcia was asked about this situation, his first reaction was sarcastic laughter, but you could see it in his eyes. This bothers him way more than he's letting on. And get this, Garcia's own father Henry is out here making statements that might come back to haunt them. He's claiming this is Ryan's most complete training camp ever, that he's in peak physical and mental condition, and that fans will see the best version of Ryan on fight night. While that sounds confident, it's also putting enormous pressure on his son. Because if Ryan doesn't deliver a spectacular performance after all this hype from his own father, the criticism will be devastating. Henry's also downplaying Barrios as a threat, saying Ryan's speed and timing give him a clear edge. But Mario Barrios isn't some tomato can. This is a guy who went the distance with legends and has taken punishment that would break most fighters.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, that's one of my idols. Like, I really look up to Pacquiao. Like, people don't know, but, like, he's one of the people I look at, I'm like, man, like, this guy is everything I would want to be, you know, as a career, as a fighter, because he did everything, like, you know, with such grace, and he did, you know, put up spectacular fights. He helped out his community. I'm trying to do things similar like that, but me, I'm more of I want to give back to, you know, like the younger generation. I want to help them with like anxiety and stuff like that, and just mental things that I know a lot of kids my age we go through, especially this generation. I mean, the shit that just out there on the internet, and then these kids doing horrible things like shooting. I think it stems a lot from.
Now listen to this part, because it reveals everything about the mental warfare happening behind the scenes. When Garcia talks about his prediction to stop Barrios in round 8, he specifically mentions still regretting not finishing Devin Haney. That tells you his mind is stuck in the past, focused on what he didn't accomplish instead of the monster standing in front of him right now. Barrios heard that interview, and you know what his response was. He said he plans to take advantage of every weakness he sees in Garcia, with Goosen guiding the strategy. That's not trash talk. That's a promise from a fighter who has inside information.
Forward to this fight. I'm excited. I'm ready. It's been a long camp, but only a couple days away.
This fight means everything to me. I get the win by being who I am.
As a person, it's hard to say. It kind of seems all over the place, but you know, as a fighter, very unpredictable, very explosive, so that makes him a dangerous opponent.
He seems like a really down-to-earth guy. As a fighter, he's a really good all-around guy.
I think there's a lot of flaws in his fighting style. I think there's a lot of flaws in his personality when it comes to, you know, just heart, like that grit.
Well, I just feel like it's a do or die moment, and this fight is going to determine a lot into my future.
Here's the kicker. Keith Thurman recently went off on a reporter who suggested Garcia's punching power would automatically carry over from lightweight to welterweight. Thurman got visibly frustrated, pointing out that knocking out smaller fighters doesn't prove you can hurt naturally bigger guys at 147 pounds. He kept emphasizing that reputation and social media hype can't substitute for results in the ring. And he's absolutely right. Garcia built his knockout reputation beating fighters who were moving up in weight or past their prime. Barrios is a natural welterweight who's been in wars with elite competition and kept coming forward.
Prediction, what's going to happen?
A prediction, man. 8, 9, 10.
8, all right.
8, 9, 10.
I think that sounds, I'm going round 8.
I like that. 8, 9, 10.
I think round 8 is
That feels good.
Feels good, yeah?
Yeah, it feels good for a real fight. We're gonna get to it. And Barrios is one of those guys, he'll get cracked and he'll keep trying to fight, so.
Well, look, you're one of the best finishers in boxing. Like,
Yeah.
I know you didn't finish Devin Haney, but you had him
That ref
drowned.
saved him. I should have knocked him. I just didn't have the conditioning.
I think it still bothers you, huh?
Yes, because I should have knocked him out in that 11th, man. I was playing around too much. Yeah. And I was like, ha ha, like, bro. Man. But next time, oh, that next time, buddy, you won't have a next time. I'm finishing you. You will never box again if we fight again, and you know that. And I have vowed to that. If we fight again, you will never box again, I promise.
But there's something way bigger happening behind the scenes that nobody's talking about. Robert Garcia, the respected trainer and analyst, recently broke down Ryan's situation with Paulie Malignaggi, and he said something that should send chills down every Garcia fan's spine. He noted that Ryan has benefited from perfect timing and opportunity, securing high-profile fights when the division's landscape allowed it. But then he dropped this bomb: talent alone isn't enough, and success depends entirely on discipline and following a structured game plan. He specifically mentioned that Ryan has worked with top trainers before, but the crucial factor is his willingness to follow instructions. Without commitment and focus, Even the best coaching can't guarantee victory.
What type of fight are you expecting against Barrios? And I say that because we've seen him look great when he won the title against Yordenis Ugas, sent him into retirement. He is coming off back-to-back draws at this moment. Do you feel like this is a matchup that ultimately favors you in a big way?
I do see it favoring me, but for reasons, because I'm the better fighter. That's it. And when I'm at the top of my game, I don't think anybody could really mess with me. And that's what I've been putting into this camp. I see him as a warrior that's been through a little bit of wars that's kind of wearing him down. I don't think the new trainer switch and then come into a fight like this, you know, is a good move. And he's about to find out that ain't a good move.
Hold up, did you catch what just happened there? Robert Garcia essentially said that Ryan's biggest enemy isn't Mario Barrios, it's his own lack of discipline. And when you look at Garcia's recent behavior, the social media antics, the controversial statements, the weight-cutting issues, you start to see a pattern of someone who might not be as focused as his father claims. Meanwhile, Barrios is training with a man who knows exactly how to exploit those mental lapses.
Going there, I have to just use my attributes, use my boxing skill, just work on everything that me and Joe have been working on in the gym.
It's gonna be one of those moments when I'm whooping his ass. I just have a little glance at Joe and be like, yeah, what's up? Take advantage of everything that I see in that ring.
I see a huge advantage having Joe in my corner. You know, Joe knows Ryan, you know, very well. More importantly, just the game plan that we have worked on, you know, for Ryan's style. There's no way that we're not going to be successful.
I made a lot of changes in every aspect, and this fight will show everything that I've been working on.
First things first, you know, I need to take care of Ryan on Saturday, but there's a lot of big names on the horizon. There's a lot of big fights to be made.
I'm open to every opportunity, but yeah, we do expect him to be chirping while I'm fighting, little chihuahua, but it's all good.
Still not gonna get involved with their circus. You know, who knows what else is gonna come up. You know, with fight week. I'm just gonna stay quiet, just stay patient. Fight day.
Oscar De La Hoya tried to put a positive spin on this matchup, calling it very interesting and highlighting the contrasting styles. He talked about Garcia's speed and explosive power being tested against Barrios' size and durability. But even De La Hoya admitted that this fight isn't just about raw talent. It's about strategy, adaptability, and composure under pressure. And here's what's scary for Garcia fans. Every single one of those factors favors Barrios right now. He's got the better game plan thanks to Goosen. He's naturally bigger and stronger at the weight, and he's proven his composure in high-pressure situations.
So much of the build to this Mario Barrios fight has been the revolving trainer, the Joe Goosen situation. It was a colorful press conference in which it felt like you were stirring the pot. Are you really that upset? Are you trying to play mental games? Where do you stand right now on your ex-trainer becoming Mario's new one?
I mean, I don't know how I actually feel about it, you know. I just know my first instincts was a little laughter within myself, like that's pretty funny, you know. And I say that with sarcasm. It's like, I wonder if he even thought about it, you know. I kind of think like, did he think about it? I guess nobody gives a game. Cool, let's go. I'm really gonna rip this dude's head off. I'm gonna beat his ass in front of this guy bad.
Mario Barrios recently compared fighting Manny Pacquiao to what he expects from Garcia, and his analysis should terrify Team Garcia. He described fighting Pacquiao as high-speed chess, constantly having to adjust to a master tactician's experience and ring IQ. But when he talks about Garcia, he sees a completely different challenge, raw athleticism and explosive power without the strategic depth. Barrios believes this fight will be more about physical execution than veteran strategy, which plays directly into his strengths. He's faced both types of fighters, and he knows how to handle explosive punchers who rely more on natural gifts than tactical brilliance.
Do you have ill will for Joe, or is it more of just like a motivation to prove everyone wrong?
Oh, it's always a little bit of motivation within myself. It's like, okay, it's almost like you want to whoop his ass even worse. Like,
Like to do it, like show him like, nah, I don't care who's training him. Like I'll whoop his ass.
And here's what makes this situation even more dangerous for Garcia. He's coming off a fight where he dominated Devin Haney but couldn't finish him, and that failure is clearly eating at him mentally. He's putting enormous pressure on himself to score a knockout against Barrios to prove he can close the show. But Barrios isn't Haney. He's bigger, stronger, and has shown incredible durability against elite competition. If Garcia comes out hunting for that knockout and doesn't get it early, he could walk right into the pressure cooker that Barrios and Goosen are preparing for him.
And he can only get better, but he's already at his peak. I'm really happy and proud of him. I know you're strong.
Attaboy, champ, let's go. There you go.
Y'all see that one pimple right there in the middle of the nose? That means I'm reindeer. I'm Rudolph the reindeer. What was he? He was different. Santa wanted him. Nobody wanted him, but Santa did.
So there you have it. Garcia's making bold predictions while his former trainer is feeding his opponent inside information. He's cutting dangerous amounts of weight while facing a naturally bigger, stronger fighter. His own camp is creating unrealistic expectations while his opponent is quietly preparing with a Hall of Fame trainer who knows every one of Garcia's weaknesses. This isn't just a fight. This is a perfect storm brewing for one of boxing's biggest upsets. And honestly, I think we're about to watch Ryan Garcia learn a very expensive lesson about the difference between social media hype and ring reality. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Do you think Garcia's prediction comes true, or is he walking into a trap set by his own former trainer? If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening behind the scenes, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because this fight is going to be absolutely wild. I'll see you in the next one.
It means the world to me. Ryan and I have been through a lot. You know, we've been doing this since he was 7 years old. To come all, it's like a cycle, just to come all the way around. You know, going through some trainers, even though I was his coach for, 13 wins, 12 KOs, I stepped down. You know, I humbled myself, as a father. And that's what fathers sometimes should do, to keep that bond. And I did it for that reason, and of course there was politics involved too. But that's fine, I was still the assistant. See, so Ryan, knew that. So as long as I was there, Ryan felt very comfortable. But now, we're back together, and we're here to win.
How's I guess, what do you guys are expecting, like, from this fight? Like, how is, in your opinion, obviously you feel Ryan's gonna win. How does that win look like on Saturday?
Well, it's gonna be a good win. I never predict knockouts, but if I always tell Ryan, if you see it, go for it. Go ahead and take it.
The craziest part about this whole situation, Ryan Garcia's social media activity in the weeks leading up to this fight tells a completely different story than what his team is putting out publicly. While his father Henry is claiming this is Ryan's most focused camp ever, Garcia himself has been posting cryptic messages about pressure, expectations, and dealing with people who betrayed him. Those aren't the posts of a fighter who's mentally locked in and ready for war. Those are the posts of someone who's feeling the walls closing in. And Mario Barrios is smart enough to recognize desperation when he sees it.
Thing is, this man, Manny Pacquiao, we're going to talk about him just for a little bit, who Ryan Garcia has said is a hero of his, and you're going to face Ryan Garcia. So you're going back to back. But Manny Pacquiao being over the hill, quote unquote, he still had that game. He still had the speed and reflexes. He still had the IQ and certain things that, like you said, it's different when you're in there, huh? Kind of threw you off a bit.
Yeah.
So, with Ryan Garcia, you can match him physically. The guy is a tall guy, all right? The guy's a strong guy, so are you. Knockout power, you got the length, all those things. But his speed, how are you going to deal with that speed without giving too much away? I don't want you to give too much away, but how are you going to deal with that speed when you guys fight?
Timing always beats speed, and boxing IQ also. And I think, going into this fight, I know I'm the better fighter. I know on a boxing level, not saying that Ryan isn't good. He's good at what he does. He's very explosive. But I just know I'm the better fighter. I just know what I'm better at in this fight, and I'm gonna show that on the February 20th.
Here's something that should absolutely terrify Garcia's corner, and I'm shocked more analysts aren't talking about this. Joe Goosen didn't just train Ryan Garcia, he was there during Garcia's most vulnerable moments, his worst training days, the sessions where Ryan's flaws were most exposed. Goosen has seen Garcia when he was frustrated, when his timing was off, when his defense broke down under pressure. Now imagine having that level of intimate knowledge about your opponent's breaking points and being able to design a specific strategy to target those exact moments. It's like having the cheat codes to a video game, except this game involves two men trying to knock each other unconscious.
Than that, bigger punch than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when Ryan touches you,
No, when he touches lightweights, see, he hasn't dropped real welterweights.
Okay, yep.
Is there even a real welterweight in the welterweight division? I think Conor Benn's the only real welterweight left at 147. So this new welterweight game is lightweights moving up. Okay, there's no OG 147, and with that, I can't give Ryan the credit you're trying to give him.
Okay.
Yeah, with that.
How likely is it though, with those names, that you're like, 47 looks pretty good?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I could eat him up like Tic Tacs, baby. I mean, I already beat Mario Barrios, schooled him. He's champion and remaining champion. He got back-to-back draws. That's a history in the making. Not an entertaining one, but it's history in the making. Drawing, you know. So let's see if Ryan can, like, you know, beat him. And then, like I said, they're all lightweight.
But wait, it gets even more insane. Sources close to the Barrios camp are saying that Goosen has been working specifically on counterpunching drills that target Garcia's tendency to admire his own work after landing clean shots. Remember the Haney fight? Every time Garcia landed that beautiful left hook, he would pause for just a split second, almost like he was waiting for applause. Against Haney, that habit didn't cost him because Devin was hurt and backing up. But Barrios, he's not backing up from anything, and Goosen knows exactly when those openings will appear.
They're playing with fire once again, stepping into somebody else's territory once again, you know. But, you know, it's boxing, man, and we want to make great fights, and sometimes it takes great names to sell big fights. And so we are, like I said, I already slapped Mario Barrios up, outclassed him, so it would take Ryan.
And here's where the weight-cutting situation becomes absolutely critical to understand. Garcia's team keeps insisting he's handling the cut to 147 better this time, but look at the timeline of his recent posts and public appearances. 3 weeks out, he looked drawn and irritable. 2 weeks out, he was snapping at reporters asking basic questions. 1 week out, he's making bold predictions about round 8 knockouts while his face looks gaunt, and his eyes have that hollow look that comes from severe dehydration and caloric restriction. Meanwhile, Barrios looks comfortable, relaxed, and naturally thick at the weight limit.
In there, right?
He just keeps
Good
lasting.
for him, man. Good for him. Can't be mad at him. You know, can't be mad at his luck, because I could say that is luck. You know, he's lucky that these guys are around in the division and calling his name out and fighting him. But when it comes to the fight, look, Ryan is got so much power and speed that if Ryan does prepare himself and Ryan does pick the right trainer to come up with a good game plan, and Ryan follows it, because I'm not saying, you know, he's never had great trainers. He's had great trainers, but if he doesn't follow the instructions, and if he doesn't follow the game plan, then there's nothing nobody could do. If Ryan does follow the game plan and disciplines to put up a great.
The psychological warfare aspect of this fight is reaching levels we rarely see in modern boxing. Barrios recently did an interview where he casually mentioned specific adjustments Garcia made during sparring sessions that only someone with inside information would know. He wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was sending a message. He was letting Garcia know that nothing he does in that ring will be a surprise, that every combination, every defensive move, every tactical adjustment has already been anticipated and countered. That's the kind of mental pressure that breaks fighters before they even enter the ring.
You know, I'm excited in particular of seeing, you know, what's going to take place once they step inside the ring, once the lights are on you, once the first bell rings. Who's going to feel the butterflies? Who's going to feel the excitement, the adrenaline? Everything comes into play. When that first bell rings and they land punches, you know how the fight's gonna play out, right? And I'm looking forward to that. because this welterweight showdown, like I said in the podium, these guys are fast, these guys are strong, they throw a lot of punches, they're durable. Barrios, a world champion. Ryan's, he's gonna try to become world champion, so a lot's at stake for both guys. It's gonna be a very entertaining fight.
Now let's talk about something that boxing fans often overlook: the difference between knockout power at different weight classes. Garcia's devastating left hook at 135 and 140 pounds was a product of perfect timing, speed, and leverage against opponents who weren't naturally built to absorb that kind of impact. But at 147 pounds, he's facing fighters with thicker necks, broader shoulders, and bone density that comes from years of competing at that weight. Thurman was absolutely right to call out reporters who assume Garcia's power will automatically translate. Physics doesn't work that way, and Mario Barrios has taken clean shots from welterweights who hit harder than anyone Garcia has ever faced. Here's what's really going to determine this fight, and it's something that highlights Garcia's biggest weakness. When things don't go according to plan, when his timing is off or his opponent isn't reacting the way he expects, Garcia has a tendency to abandon his boxing skills and start headhunting. We saw glimpses of this against Haney. After dominating the early rounds, Garcia became obsessed with landing the knockout blow and started taking unnecessary risks. Against Haney, those risks didn't cost him because Devin was hurt and defensive. Against Barrios, who will be coming forward with bad intentions and inside information, those mental lapses could be catastrophic. The sparring reports coming out of both camps paint a fascinating picture of two fighters preparing for completely different fights. Garcia's camp is reportedly focusing on explosive combination work and knockout scenarios, preparing for a fight they expect to end early. Barrios' camp, they're preparing for 12 rounds of calculated pressure, working on specific counters to Garcia's favorite combinations, and drilling scenarios for what to do when Garcia gets desperate in the later rounds. One team is preparing for a sprint, the other is preparing for a marathon with landmines. But here's the detail that might be the most telling of all. When Garcia was asked specifically about facing his former trainer, his initial response was to laugh it off and say it doesn't matter because he's evolved since working with Goossen. But then, unprompted, he spent the next 5 minutes explaining why Goossen's knowledge wouldn't be a factor, how he's changed his style, how he's developed new weapons. You don't spend 5 minutes dismissing something that doesn't bother you. That's the response of someone who's been losing sleep thinking about exactly what secrets his former trainer might be sharing. The betting lines for this fight have been absolutely wild to watch. Initially, Garcia opened as a significant favorite based on name recognition and his performance against Haney. But as more information leaked about the training camps, as more analysts started breaking down the stylistic matchup, and as word spread about Goossen's inside knowledge, those lines started moving dramatically toward Barrios. Smart money recognizes value when they see it, and right now, the value is screaming that Garcia might be in more trouble than anyone realizes. Mario Barrios' confidence in recent interviews isn't the usual pre-fight bravado we're used to hearing. When he talks about this fight, he speaks with the certainty of someone who's seen the test questions before the exam. He mentions specific adjustments he plans to make, specific moments in the fight where he expects Garcia to be vulnerable, specific rounds where he believes Garcia's conditioning will become a factor. That level of detailed confidence doesn't come from watching fight film. It comes from having someone in your corner who lived through those moments firsthand. And let's address the elephant in the room that nobody in Garcia's camp wants to talk about. The Devin Haney fight, while impressive in many ways, also exposed some serious concerns about Garcia's killer instinct. He had Haney hurt multiple times, badly hurt, and couldn't close the show. Some fighters struggle to finish because they lack power. Others struggle because they don't have the tactical knowledge to capitalize on their advantages. But Garcia's issue seemed different. He had the power and the opportunity, but something held him back from going for the kill. Against a fighter like Barrios, who has no intention of giving Garcia multiple opportunities, that hesitation could be the difference between victory and disaster. The prediction Garcia made about stopping Barrios in round 8 isn't just bold, it's strategically dangerous. By putting that specific timeline out there, he's created enormous pressure on himself to perform within that window. If round 8 comes and goes without a knockout, if Barrios is still standing and still coming forward, Garcia will be fighting not just his opponent, but also his own expectations and the psychological weight of a failed prediction. Experienced fighters know better than to paint themselves into that kind of corner, but Garcia seems to be making these statements based on emotion rather than strategy. Here's what makes this situation even more complex. Garcia's team has been emphasizing his improved mental health and focus, but their public statements suggest they might be overcompensating for concerns they don't want to address directly. When a fighter's camp feels the need to repeatedly emphasize how mentally strong and focused their guy is, it often indicates underlying worries about exactly those areas. Meanwhile, Barrios' team isn't talking about mental strength or focus. They're talking about game plans, tactical adjustments, and specific strategies. That's the difference between a team that's worried about their fighter's mindset and a team that's confident in their preparation. The physical transformation Garcia to make 147 pounds consistently has been dramatic, and not necessarily in a good way. Comparing photos from his lightweight days to recent training footage, he looks like a completely different fighter, leaner, more angular, but also more fragile. His face has that drawn look of someone who's been cutting weight for weeks, and his usual explosive energy seems more forced, more manufactured. Barrios, on the other hand, looks thick and strong at the weight, like he belongs there naturally. In a sport where physical advantages often determine outcomes, that difference in natural size and strength could be decisive. The most dangerous aspect of this entire situation might be Garcia's apparent belief that his success against Haney proves he's ready for anyone at welterweight. But Haney and Barrios represent completely different challenges. Garcia is a technical boxer who relies on timing, distance, and defensive responsibility. When he gets hurt, his instinct is to survive and recover. Barrios is a pressure fighter who has been in wars with elite competition and has proven he can take tremendous punishment while continuing to apply pressure. If Garcia hurts Barrios the way he hurt Haney, he shouldn't expect the same defensive reaction. He should expect Barrios to keep coming forward with bad intentions.